Welcome back to the Embeemakes knitting channel. My name's Melissa and I'm the maker behind Embeemakes here on YouTube, on Ravelry and on Instagram. If you're new here, hi, welcome. Thank you for clicking on my video. I make regular podcast episodes every month and from time to time I also like to do a pattern roundup video or a knitting plans video. But this time I'm here with a regular podcast episode to update you on what I've been knitting on the past month and a half, because I've taken a little bit of a break while I was on my honeymoon 2 weeks ago now, and I got married just before we went on our honeymoon. So yeah, it's been a very busy September. And now I'm trying to get back into a routine at work. So yeah, I'm picking up my knitting again in the evenings. But I did manage to finish 3 things in this time period. One was already almost finished and I will show you in a second. It's a very special piece that I did for my wedding, and then 2 smaller objects that I finished while I was on my honeymoon. And then I also have a big stack of whips again, because if you know me, you know I'm not a monogamous knitter. I always like to have lots of whips on the needles, so I can switch between them whenever I feel like it. And I also have one yarn acquisition from holiday, which I will show you at the end. Maybe let's start with what I'm wearing. I'm wearing my stick season sweater by the Creabea, which I knit last year, and I finished it right at the beginning of fall, so it's now gotten a full year of wear, and I can really say that I absolutely love this piece. I put it on just now and I realized how much I love it again, because I had put it away for the summer. And now that it's cold again, and yeah, I can just wear it again. I love it so much. I knit this in Drops Daisy, which I have to tell does pill quite a lot, but I think it's worth the sacrifice because it's so soft. I'm wearing this just next to skin. I just have a little top underneath this and it's so incredibly soft. You can just easily depill this. It doesn't take too long, and yeah, it's incredibly lovely. The stitch definition, you have some texture here, and then 2x2 rib at all the edges. And so yeah, I knit it in this beautiful dark green color, and I think it suits me really well. And yeah, I knit the size 5, and I think I used 3.5 or 4mm needles. Everything is on my Ravelry page, I believe. But yeah, I would definitely knit this again. I might probably knit one without the texture, because that's something you can do as well, just a plain stockinette version all over. But I do really like the 2x2 rib on the edges, so I might keep that. You also have this detail here. It's a drop shoulder construction, but you have some short row shaping here at the top of the sleeve. And it's really a great size. I need the 5th size for me. And yeah, I love the fit of this. Sleeve length is perfect. I usually just adjust this to what I prefer. I don't think I followed the pattern here on measurements for the sleeve length or body length. I just try it on and see whenever I like to start the ribbing. It did grow a little bit because this one with the texture, it stretched out a little bit here, but yeah, for me this length is just perfect. And yeah, I really love this one. So let's now start with my first finished object, which is my wedding shawl. This is the Birds of a Feather pattern by Andrea Mowry. And yeah, it's too big for the screen. I will probably pop in some b-roll footage. But yeah, I knit this in 2 hand-dyed yarns. The light purple with the speckles is by the Mindful Creators and it's on her Heavenly Alpaca base, which is a fingering weight, super soft alpaca base. And yeah, it really is very heavenly. It's like super soft and cozy. And then the dark purple is by Ginger and Thyme. She sadly doesn't dye yarn anymore, but I had this in stash. I had 2 skeins, but I didn't really need the full 2 skeins. And I also didn't entirely use the 1 skein of Heavenly Alpaca. I still need to weigh my yarn and update my Ravelry page. But I did also make some adjustments. I didn't knit the full length. I followed some instructions from Venetia by the Woolly Worker. And so to make it a little bit shorter so that I could use just 1 skein of hand-dyed light purple and then just under 2 for the dark purple as well. And sizing is more than big enough. I don't think I would want it to be any bigger. And yeah, it's nice to like drape around my shoulders. So that's what I did for some of my wedding photos, which I will pop in here. Yeah, it's nice to drape over your shoulders when you're a bit cold, or you could also like wear it like this under a coat. I think it's, yeah, just really pretty. So light and airy, and I love the lace. It wasn't too difficult, it was pretty mindless for most of it because you just knit a garter stitch. I did make adjustments on the edge stitches here, and the center I kept as was written in the pattern. Yeah, a really lovely shawl, and I think I will mostly wear it like this with the coat in like fall, winter, and maybe then spring, summer I could just wear it over my shoulders. This looks really granny style like this, but it's cozy at home, and I think I could also do this at work when I'm a little bit chilly at the office. So yeah, my wedding shawl. And then I took some projects with me on honeymoon. We went to Gran Canaria and it was, yeah, pretty warm there. It was 26 degrees or a little bit more some days. So yeah, we sat by the pool, swam a little bit, went on some walks. And when we were just chilling, I had some time to knit. And I took a little scarf project with me. This is the scarf. It's a Sophie scarf by Petiteknit. And this has been on my needles for 2 years. I checked my Instagram and I saw that I had cast this on like over 2 years ago. I had just put it in the corner for a while, then just knit on it tiny bit when I took the train from time to time. But I never really worked on it a lot to be able to finish it in like a decent time. So I took this with me. I finally managed to finish it and I was very happy about that. The yarn I used is, I think, by Lang Yarns. I don't have the ball band anymore. It was some kind of hand-dyed yarn by Lang Yarns. I also used it for a hat for my mom. I had 2 skeins, I think, and I used one for my mom's hat paired with a fluff. I think it was an alpaca. And then I had another skein left and I knit this. I had just weighed it and it's like 31 grams only. So I didn't even use an entire skein. but at some point I was just tired of it and I decided to start the decreases. But I can put it like 2 times like this around my neck and then tie a little knot. So yeah, I think the sizing is perfect for this tiny scarf. I will probably give this to my mom at Christmas because this matches her hat. And yeah, it will be cozy. I hope she likes it. So when I finished this one, I had my needles free to cast on another tiny scarf, and I had taken some beautiful bright red yarn that I think I showed not too long ago on the podcast. And it's a Gepard Eco Cashmere vintage. And it's 50 grams is 150 meters, so it's more of a light DK weight yarn. And so I decided to cast on the Victoria scarf by Orsa Knits, which is this beautiful scarf. It has all over cables, but it's pretty mindless to knit because you always cross the cables on the same row, and it's easy to check when you're doing the increases when you need to do a cable row. So actually I didn't have to look at the pattern a lot, just at the beginning, and then I got going until I was halfway and then did the decreases. So yeah, I really enjoyed this project a lot. I knit this in only a week compared to the 2 years it took me to knit this one. But yeah, I was mainly focusing on this because it was very portable and not too warm on my lap to knit on it. And yeah, it was pretty potato chippy to knit because you always want to go like, oh, I'll just go until I need to do another cable row. So yeah, and the yarn is also very lovely to work with, and I also like this color. I will put this on. Still need to kind of figure out how I need to wear these kind of scarves. I think I like it like this. Maybe now I'm very Christmassy with the green and red. It's a bit early, but yeah, I think with my dark blue coat that I have, I think it's nice to have a pop of red around my neck. And yeah, it's not the biggest scarf. It doesn't keep you like super warm, but yeah, when it's just a little bit chilly, this is just perfect. I used my 3.5mm needles for this, but the yarn was like slightly too thick actually for the pattern. I think you're supposed to use more of a sport weight, and this is more like a light DK. But yeah, it's not too stiff, it's still pretty drapey because it's a cashmere yarn. It's super soft around my neck, so I think I will really get a lot of use out of this piece. And so yeah, I had 50 grams of yarn, but I have 9 grams left over. I didn't want to play yarn chicken, so I think I stopped a bit early. Well, I started decreasing a bit early just to be on the safe side. But I think I will use this for maybe some color work in a project in the future. But yeah, very lovely yarn. I do want to knit another Victoria scarf with some other yarn that I will show you at the end. That I had first bought to knit that pattern, but since I had the pattern in my library, I decided to knit it already with this yarn. And it's very lovely, and I think it's also great for a gift knit if you're already planning to make some gifts for Christmas. I think this is a great pattern. So those were all the finished objects. Now let's get into my whips. The first one is another scarf. I won't be cold this winter. I When I came home, I picked this one up again. This is my Waffle loop scarf by Other Loops. It's already pretty long. This is what I knit at the beginning of this year. Then there's like this piece of just where you don't knit any increases or decreases. And now I'm about ready to start decreasing again. I'm over halfway there. I connected the second skein. I am using Olivia and Oliver Fibers DK base in this beautiful, I think it's called Poached Pear color. And yeah, this is really squishy and will again be a lovely scarf for winter. I just need to get going on this. It's a lovely texture to knit, pretty mindless. I don't need to look at the pattern right now. I should take a look to see how the decreases work soon. But for now, it's a pretty mindless project, and yeah, I just need to continue knitting on this. Not much else to talk about, I think. If you want to know more about this, you can check out one of my previous podcasts from earlier this year. But yeah, it's a nice and squishy scarf. I also have one last summer knit that I'm working on and want to get finished. I do have some others on the needles, but I will just put those into hibernation until next year. I don't want to deal with those anymore because I know I can't finish them or like be able to wear them when I finish them this year. But this one I will most likely be able to finish because it's very nearly done. This is my Lusk tee by the Creabea again, same designer as my stick season sweater. And this is actually also a pretty similar construction. It's kind of a dropped shoulder but with a short row shaped sleeve. And yeah, this is again in the Mindful Creators hand-dyed yarn. This is on her lovely linen base, so it's a base with merino wool and linen in it. And I bought this cute purple color and then a very light pistachio green color. It almost looks like a neutral, which I really like. And yeah, I'm very nearly there. I think I need to try it on again and maybe measure how long it is. And then I can start ribbing, maybe maybe I do one more purple and one more green stripe and then do the ribbing in purple because I also did like all the sleeve ribbings and the collar ribbing in purple. I think I'm good on the yarn. I will have some left of the green because I mostly use the purple, I think. But yeah, we'll see what I do with this later. This feels really woolly still, so I think I can wear this in the fall also, even though it's a t-shirt. I could just, yeah, wear this at home or to go to a dinner. I will maybe add in some footage of me trying it on when I do after I finished filming this podcast. But I think I'm very nearly there and I will just knit on this over the weekend and maybe a little bit next week. And then I will show this in my next podcast episode. But if you want to see it finished earlier, be sure to follow me over on Instagram, where I will definitely show this when it's finished. Then I also knit some more on my Pippin cardigan by the Knit Purl Girl. I'm working on the second sleeve right now. I think my main focus will be first on the Lusk tee, but then I will shift it back to this cardigan because I really want to have this finished this fall so I can wear it. I think it will be perfect for a party I'm going to celebrate my grandma's birthday at the end of November. That's like in a month and a half, like a little over a month. Can I finish this by then? I'm not sure. But I think for Christmas this could be good as well, or like some earlier Christmas parties in December. I think it would be great to have this as a cardigan. It would go with a lot of my things in my wardrobe, and it looks really chic with the texture. And yeah, I'm knitting this with Filcolana Arvetta and Filcolana Tilia. I got this yarn from my now husband about 2 or 3 years ago for Christmas. So it really is time that I finish this garment so I can wear it. Yeah, send me some motivation, please. And then one last project that I'm picking up again. I've worked some rows on this the past week, because this is again something I really want finished by end of this year, preferably somewhere in early December already, because this will be my Christmas sweater, hopefully. This is the Lumme pullover by Sari Nordlund, and it's a colorwork yoke sweater. It's a round yoke, which I have knit before, but not with colorwork. And yeah, I'm really enjoying this. I'm using Dererum Natura Gilead, which I've worked with before again, on a purple, I think it's called the Port Sweater by Ozetta. And it's really lovely yarn. It doesn't really pill that much. It is a bit more rustic, but it doesn't feel itchy or scratchy. It just feels really dry to the touch. But it's perfect for colorwork. I think you can see that, yeah, contrast is really great. My stitches are really nice and it's not even blocked yet. And I think this design is just really pretty by Sari Nordlund. I will also be doing the colorwork on the sleeves because I have plenty of yarn, and I think it will make it, yeah, be more special with like more of the colorwork on the sleeves also. And yeah, I will be doing a little bit of a different pattern here below on the yoke. Now below this big flower I will try and repeat these leaves here, or like this. I'm not sure yet which one. I have to start that row now. So yeah, I don't really like the next motif in the pattern, so I will be switching it up for either this or this one. Maybe I will mirror it so it goes the other way. I'm not sure yet. No, maybe I'll just keep it simple and just simply repeat one of those, because there are no increases in that part anymore. So I think it's a pretty simple change. Then I will probably be ready to split for sleeves. And somewhere you also have to add some short rows, or you can add some short rows, which I will do. I'm not scared of short rows anymore. It's pretty easy and I think it really improves the fit of a sweater. So yeah, that's up next for this one. Oh, and I forgot to show you one more thing I worked on while I was on my honeymoon, and that's a little sock. Because it's now October, which means it's Socktober for knitters. So you have to knit some socks. And I decided to cast on with this beautiful hand-dyed yarn by the Mindful Creators again. This was from her August sock club. And it was inspired by a book that pop in here. And I just decided to knit a pretty simple vanilla sock. I did some 2x1 ribbing for a few rows, then did a purl row, and now I'm just knitting stockinette. I will knit this as more of a shorty sock because it's a pretty like summery and bright color. I think it will be great to have these for spring. And yeah, I like to wear some shorter socks at home. So I will probably now start the heel with the contrast color that was in the sock set. And yeah, I will just do a simple short row heel from one of the patterns from Stonitz probably, because I have a lot of those that I can just use the heel from. I think I cast on 60 stitches or 64. I need to count and then probably put it on my Ravelry page so I can recreate the second sock so that it matches this one perfectly and not be a different size. My sock mojo has been pretty low this year. I do like wearing my hand knit socks. I enjoyed knitting them a lot last year, but this year I feel more like knitting like scarves, shawls and like more garments, because I can wear those outside more easily. I don't really wear my hand knit socks a lot in my shoes to go outside. I usually just wear them at home. So I think that's probably why I'm feeling less motivated to knit socks this year. But I do still like knitting socks and I have a lot of sock yarn. So yeah, send me some motivation to knit a pair of socks again from start to finish, because it's been a while. So now I will show you my one and only acquisition, which is this Rowan yarn felted tweed that I bought in Gran Canaria. I don't remember the shop name, but there were quite a few shops, yarn shops in Las Palmas, which is the capital of Gran Canaria. And yeah, I hadn't thought of going yarn shopping on my honeymoon, but my husband said, you know, you can check out if there's maybe a yarn store and we can go have a look if you want. And of course I said yes. Yeah, I picked the right one. And yeah, I saw this yarn and I thought this would be nice to try out. I have heard of this yarn before but not tried it. And yeah, I found this a pretty burgundy purpley color, and this once again will probably become another tiny scarf. I'm not sure which pattern I will use yet. If you have some recommendations, let me know down below. But I will probably have a look on Ravelry also to see what's out there. I don't want to make another Sophie scarf, I think. But I do want to make another Victoria scarf, and I have some yarn that I originally purchased for that pattern while I was on vacation 2 years ago now, I think, in France. I bought this yarn in Lyon, I think, and it's Isager yarn, alpaca 2, and it's a blend of 50% alpaca, 50% wool. And once again, it's 50 grams and has 250 meters. So I will be holding this double, and then I will knit another beautiful drapey Victoria scarf. I will probably try and wind these skeins after I finish filming in a few minutes, and then yeah, I will maybe cast on, or maybe I should finish my Lusk tea first. Yeah, maybe I should do that. But I definitely want to knit this next. And yeah, for the cables, I also want to mention that I use this super handy dandy tool. I'll see if I can find it somewhere here. Here it is. So I took this with me. This is the Flox Floops stitch marker, and I will take it out of the packaging. So it's this tiny needle, and you can like shape this however you want. This middle part is like some kind of wired thing, and it has these wooden tips which are also pretty sharp. I don't know exactly the size of this, but this has been like an incredibly useful tool. It's easy to knit my cables, especially like these 4-stitch cables where you have to cross 2 stitches over each other. I know you can knit those kind of cables easily without a cable needle, but I found it a bit too fiddly, and this tool was like super useful. You could easily like plop it in your knitting or in your skein of yarn as well when you weren't using it and you only use it like for one row every X amount of rows. So I didn't have to use this that much. And I really liked that it was like this flexible thing. My stitches didn't fall off at all. I just really enjoyed the experience of using this for this scarf. And so I had bought this, I think, in London when we were there as a souvenir, but I have now ordered like 2 more, I think, one to gift to my sister, because I think if someday she wants to knit some cables, she might like this as well. And then one extra one for me in case I lose this one, or to have like in another project bag, because this is like super useful. I love it, and you can also use it like to put some stitches on hold or like as a little stitch marker. It's like really a very useful multi-tool to have in your knitting accessories pouch. If you're interested as well, I will leave a link down below of where I have now ordered the 2 new ones. So that's it for this month's podcast episode. I hope you enjoyed it. Let me know down below if you were knitting on something while watching. I'm curious to know. And I'm wishing you happy knitting. Bye!